Hey y'all. Hola, 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 hola. Good evening, everybody. What are y'all doing? I just got up from a very good, much needed nap. Hey, hey, everybody. I don't know if y'all can hear me. Hopefully, y'all not connected to my speaker. Hello, everybody. Good evening, everybody. How was y'all day? Thank you, Mr. Hardy. Because guess what? I got to get my Iron Man on the day. I know it's my posture. I be sitting hunched over. You hear me? I be sitting hunched over. I do. Hey, Nikwa. Miss Brooks. Hey, y'all. Hey, Jamila. Miss Simply. Hey, Auntie. I was thinking about you earlier. Y'all be on my mind. Today was amazing. That's good. That's good. I chilled out. I did. I talked to my daughter, made me some food, laid down, and I thought I was only going to be asleep for about an hour. I slept like 4. I slept like 4 hours. I said, let me get up and take this trash out. And so I did that. Hey, Pumpkin. Hey, Queen. Hey, everybody. Hey. Hey, Miss Sheeta. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, everybody. So we're gonna, if you want to study today, if you do not have a book, y'all know it's okay, but we're gonna be in Josephus today. I was just reading this story. I said, we're gonna read this. We're gonna read it. I think it's gonna be good. Also, let's talk about it. So I know some of y'all probably thought CERCA was paranoid for taking all of her material off of TikTok. But do y'all know that a man just got arrested and he's being held without bond because he said something about Elon Musk? He's an influencer. They went to his house and raided his house. And the government got it. I seen that on TikTok today. I said, there's a white guy that I follow. Lil Nisi, did you see the text? Haman, stay playing in our faces. No, ma'am. Because you know what? My other phone ain't charged, so I'm going to charge it right now. It's been in here on the desk. I ain't even going to lie to you. Haman and Hamas is the same thing, huh? Haman. Oh, Auntie. Uh-uh. I'm about to plug this phone up right now, though. Don't kill me. Oh, right, Rika. Oh, Auntie. So, so Hamas is like a derivative, or the those are the descendants of Haman. I can see it. I can see it. That's crazy. But so you all in the business. You all in the business of what we about to be. I'm sick of y'all. I'm sick of y'all. Yeah. Yeah. But think about it. This is why it's important that God tells us to know the lineage of other people's forefathers. Now you know, you can see it. You can meet somebody. Hold on, I did this wrong. My wrist is in here wrong. Ooh. Okay, wait. There we go. You can meet somebody, right? Work with somebody, got a family member, whatever it is, and be around their kid and be like, oh my God, you act exactly like your mama, or you act exactly like your grandma or your granddaddy. They might not have ever even been around that person. But that DNA is strong. Real strong. And I believe this is why God says, go back and look at what your forefathers did. Know who you are. You hear me? So you can understand what you're fighting against before you ever really get started. If you think about it, it's forces fighting against you as soon as you're born. Stuff that's been in your family, other stuff, and you got to think. People, you constantly joining two new families, and it's all of that lineage from both sides of that one and both sides of this one. Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. Thank you, Auntie. That's real crazy. It really is. Well, we about to see how they be playing in our face another way, right? Because they keep telling us that all these big people is gone and whatever, but we know they not. So, y'all want to get y'all Josephus book? Because that's where we going to be at. Y'all want to go on and go? But but again, what I said, that man got arrested for talking against Elon Musk, not President Trump. Did y'all hear me when I said that? Do y'all know that's the same thing that was happening in Nazi Germany and Poland? He's an influencer, y'all. You know who else ain't showed back up? Old boy that used to be from England. He been gone almost a year. Y'all realize that, right? Since March of last year, the whatever, but the bully slayer. He been gone for a whole year, y'all. We ain't heard nothing else from them other people. Mind you, that dude, the man that got arrested lived in Ohio. He put something on his TikTok or YouTube, whatever it was, and about Elon living in Texas. South 90, I ain't seen nothing from him. I know he used to be posting like late last year. I had seen some stuff, but they holding that man without bond, not for talking against our president, for talking against Elon Musk. Yeah, I don't think that's crazy. Elon Musk isn't even an elected official. So how can you go to jail for doing that? Don't even make no sense. Your boyfriend can call and threaten you. They not going to pick him up. They gonna say it ain't nothing they can do about it. Elon Musk is like a boyfriend that ain't supposed to be around in real life. Anyway, that's crazy to me. So, if you have your book Josephus, if you have it, if you don't, that's fine. If you read it online, wherever you read Josephus at, can y'all grab that? We're going to go on and get started because it's already late and I know it's 9 o'clock in some places. There never was, Miss Brooks. There never was. Civil lawsuits are about to get crazy, but remember they trying to get rid of the thing where you can't file no lawsuit against somebody civilly. So they know what they doing. They know exactly what they doing, which is really scary. All of this is really scary for real when you think about it. The liberties and stuff that are being taken away. Yeah. Yeah. It's a real thing. It's a lot going on. And that's why I kept telling y'all, be careful what you put on the internet, one. And two, just be mindful. You know what I'm saying? People don't think it's important to. Everybody was trying to make like I was crazy. But look, exactly what I told y'all. They was going to be rounding people up for what they said on this here internet. You better learn how to say it in another way because they was going to be censoring folks. They doing that now. Everything that we talked about is happening. As soon as I figure out how to get them videos off of Instagram, our Instagrams is going away. I got to get back into the Tatna Place TikTok so I can shut that down and probably bring it over here. I don't know where we going to be, but I'm definitely, only reason I'll be on TikTok, that CERCA TROVA page, is to get information. I won't have none of my posted stuff up there. No meta, what you call it, apps. None of them. Because that is the FBI for real. In real life. So, If you got your book, can you please go to, it's page, well, it's chapter 7, dot 9.1, or page 233 in my book. I don't know what your book is going to say, but mine is 233. Y'all ready? This feels so good. I realize that a lot of my shoulder pain comes from my hands and my wrists and my posture. So I've been working on sitting up and not hunching over, you know? Because that's where a lot of it comes from. Sitting hunched over. You know, they said people are losing the curve in their neck from, like, the natural curve in their neck from being hunched over their phone and video games and stuff. Is that crazy? Messing up your whole body just being on a device, and they keep making more different ones. Nuts. What book is it? Josephus? 7.9.1 is the chapter, or however you push this out. Mine is page 233 is where we starting at. You're welcome. Thank you, God, for this. Let me know when y'all over there. Is he straight? Probably not. Oh, it is. Good job. Are y'all happy we made it to our 3rd year? Y'all know our YouTube made it to 1 million views too. That's so cool. How y'all feel about that? We got 1 million views on YouTube and we only got 10,000 followers over here. I think that's a big deal. Yeah, we made it to 1 million views. I just seen it the other day. Yeah. Like last night, I think. Or yesterday sometime. One of those. But yeah, we made it to 1 million views. I'm super excited about that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. We got some longevity in this YouTube game. You know what I'm saying? And dude, yeah, we made it to 1 million views, y'all. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Whenever y'all ready. Y'all ready? I guess I gotta take this thing off. I don't want to though. Ooh. All right. Say when you're over there. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be a pain, but I have a totally different book. You all right? It's concerning the insurrection of Absalon. It's gonna be. Hold on. It's book 5, Queen. I'm thinking. Hold on. It's book 5, I think, or book 6. Book 6. No, book 7. Sorry, book 7, Queen. You know, yeah, book 7. Y'all, my skin is so freaking dry. And it don't, I'm gonna go get some aloe real quick. Hold on. You welcome, girl. Shoot, you see? Girl, my hands feel like I got alligator skin or something. They burning and stuff. Alright. So, hey Pumpkin. We in Josephus, y'all, today. It's gonna be more reading than anything, but I think it's an interesting story. So we down here at chapter 9. Your book is page 248, chapter 9, book 7. Okay. I know they all different. Now you see why I be like, because it just depends on the edition you have, the all of that. Because so many people have done it, and so then we just have to try to figure it out. But here we go. Now that everybody ready, come on. Oh, excuse me. It says, now Absalom, upon this his success with the king, procured to himself a great many horses, and many chariots, and that in a little time also. He had moreover 50 armor bearers that were with him, and he came early every day to the king's palace, and spake what was agreeable to such as came for justice, and lost their causes, as if that happened for what want, Lord, of good counselors about the king. Or perhaps because, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm gonna go, I really am. I just said I'm gonna call tomorrow and make my appointment for my glasses. I'm gonna do it because I need them. Because the judges mistook in the unjust sentence they gave, whereby he gained the goodwill of them all. He told them that he had, He told them that he had was such authority committed to him. He would distribute justice to them in the most equitable manner. When he had made himself so popular among the multitude, he thought he had already the goodwill of the people secured to him. But when 4 years had passed since his father's reconciliation to him, he came to him and besought him to give him leave to go to Hebron and pay a sacrifice to God, because he vowed it to him when he fled out of the country. So when David had granted his request, he went thither, and great multitudes came running together to him, for he had sent to a great number so to do. Among them Ahithophel, the Gilonite, a counselor of David's, and 200 men out of Jerusalem itself, who knew not his intentions, but were sent for as to a sacrifice. So he was appointed king by all of them, which he obtained by the stratagem. So let me go back, because I know I'm reading real crazy. Basically, David's son, okay, asked his daddy. Now, remember, Absalon is the one that attacked his sister. Y'all remember that? Everybody remember? He attacked Tamar. Y'all remember this? She was a virgin and all of this old stuff. But David forgave him because David loved him. And so David didn't punish him the way that he should. So after the time of them being separate, the son came back to David and was like, hey, you gave me that land when I was gone, so I want to go over there and give a sacrifice. Whole time he plotting. So when he went away and his daddy gave him these men, the men anointed him their king. This is Game of Thrones. For sure. When I was reading this, all that kept coming to my mind is Game of Thrones. Promise. Okay? So the son, who his daddy forgave him for attacking his sister, then already started another plot against the family. He forgave you for what you did. He didn't kill you. He didn't let nobody chop you up or nothing. Y'all done had y'all time away. You come to your daddy and off top, you on some BS. Trying to steal his kingdom. Just crazy. Okay? And this how folks be. If you forgive them, sometimes they already working on the next plan on how to get over on you. Nuts. It says, it says, as soon as this news was brought to David and he was informed of what he did not expect from his son, he was frightened at this impious and bold undertaking and wondered that he was so far from remembering how his offense had been so lately forgiven him, that he undertook much worse and more wicked enterprises. So he said, wait, nigga, I just forgave you for the last thing you did. Anybody ever went through this? You forgave a huge offense, and before you know it, baby, they was on to the next thing. On to the next scheme, figuring out how to get over on you, how to do you bad, all of that. Crazy that I just forgave you, and you already working on another plan to do me dirty. Anybody ever dealt with that? Anybody? I know I have. You said and have. All of that. All of that. It already took me some time to calm down and even be able to see you. And as soon as you get back in my good graces, now you want some funny stuff. Are you nuts? Are you crazy? You said, my God, get out my business, please. Listen. I just let you back around. You said your coworkers. I just don't have that feeling in my stomach when I see you, and you gonna come back over here and do some weird stuff, and this why. David, like, I just forgave you for attacking my daughter. You're tripping. Little boy. You crazy. You hear me? Here we go. It says, first, to deprive him of the kingdom which was given him of God. So he want to take my kingdom God gave me. And secondly, to take away his own father's life. He said, I forgave you, could have killed you. Now you want to take my kingdom and my life? Let me ask you a question. How many of you have went without eating for your children? You have. You. Anybody else? You ever had to go without? Yeah. All the time? Yep. Eat a smaller portion. Not buy yourself no new drawers. Not buy yourself, put some tape on the bottom of your shoe. You slept on the floor so they can sleep in the bed. If anybody reared up on them, you was father lion or mother lion and made sure you protected them. And then they turned around and did something dirty, and you let them back in the house anyway, and then you find out that they trying to figure out how to kill you and take your house so they can hurry up and get their inheritance because they need you out the way. How would you feel? If this was happening to you right now, and you found out that one of your adult children or a niece or nephew you put them in your will. Uh-oh. Okay? As soon as they know they in there, they all of a sudden, it's an accident every time they come around you. Would you feel safe? You said, and don't. Huh? Would you feel safe? You said, I'm not trusting you. Interesting. You wouldn't feel safe, Jamila? Me either. Would you be upset? Wouldn't be able to trust them. Interesting. No, I sleep with one eye open. Interesting. Oh, excuse me. Sean, you took the words right out of my mouth. I be hurt. All the sacrificing I done did to get you here, and now you trying to take away what I done worked hard for, and you want to kill me. That's crazy. Everything I did was for you, so you can live a good life. Now you trying to take mine. You said just too far. I'm trying to tell you. Crazy. Here we go. It says he resolved to fly to the parts beyond Jordan. Y'all read that? Right, Rika. You picked that up? He flew. It didn't say flee. It said fly. Not David. Solomon had a magic carpet, did he not? Where do you think he got it from? Did David run with giants? He did. Did their ancestors have the ability to make flying objects, ships, and whatnot? Huh? They did. They did. We still finding them now, are we not? Yeah. They still. We just seen it in 30 coins. We seen it in 30 coins. Ooh, that's hot. All right. Here we go. Ooh, shoot. All right. So it says, so he called his most intimate friends together and communicated to them all that he had heard of his son's madness. He committed himself to God to judge between them about all their actions and left the care of his royal palace to his 10 concubines. Interesting. And went away from Jerusalem, being willingly accompanied by the rest of the multitude, who went hastily away with him, and particularly by those 600 armed men who had been with him from his first flight in the days of Saul. Interesting. From his first flight in the days of Saul. Interesting. But he persuaded Abiathar and Zadok, the high priest, who had determined to go away with him, as also all the Levites who were with the ark, to stay behind, as hoping that God would deliver him without its removal. But he charged them to let him know privately how all things went on. And he had their sons, Amas, I believe it's Ahamas or Amas, the son of Zadok, and Jonathan, the son of Abiathar, for faithful ministers in all things. But Ittai, the Gittite, went out with him, whether David would let him or not, for he would have persuaded him to stay on the account he appeared the more friendly to him. But as he was ascending the Mount of Olives barefooted, and all his company were in tears, it was told him that Ahithophel was with Absalom and was of his side. This hearing argument, oh y'all, this hearing argument augmented his grief, and he besought God earnestly to alienate the mind of Absalom from Ahithophel, for he was afraid that he should persuade him to follow his pernicious counsel. For he was a prudent man and very sharp in seeing what was advantageous. Now, this is the thing. Have you ever prayed that God get your kid away from somebody, or your sister away from somebody, or your brother away from somebody, because you know that this person is poisoning their mind? You know that the only reason this person is acting crazy is because of the person that they are hanging out with. It could be your husband, it could be whoever. Your mama act funny around somebody. So basically, you said, yes, my son. Okay. So you see, David was like, I already know the only reason my son is on this weird stuff is because he hanging out with this dude, with Ahithophel. Ahithophel is putting this craziness up. Ahithophel is putting this craziness in my baby head, and now my baby want to take my life, and he's rebelling against me, going crazy. So David went to God and said, I need you to separate. I don't need them to have a meeting of the minds. I need you to shut my baby's ears to this man's words. He didn't go try to talk to his son, did he? He knew his son. He knew what his son was capable of because he taught him. He know how cutthroat. He know his son know war because he taught him. So David didn't sit back and say, oh, that's my son. He ain't going to do nothing. He got up and moved. Did he not? Immediately. He left other people, okay, in charge of his kingdom. He put everybody in place, and he got the heck out of Dodge. Did he not? Did he? He didn't sit there and say, because I love him, he won't kill me. He said, let me get up and move. How many parents have been slain by their children because they didn't believe their kid would hurt them, even though the kid told them, I'm going to unalive you? We see it all the time. Do we not? Hello? Like they said, I know my children like the back of my hand, the good and the bad. This. Here we go. Sorry, y'all. Hold on. All right. It says, when David was gotten up upon the top of the mountain, he took a view of the city and prayed to God with abundance of tears, as having already lost his kingdom. So he was crying like he already knew he wasn't going to be king. Here it was that a faithful friend of his, whose name was Hushai, met him. When David saw him with his clothes rent and having ashes all over his head, and in lamentation for the great change of affairs, he comforted him and exhorted him to leave off grieving. Nay, at length he besought him to go back to Absalom and appear as one of his party, and to, here we go now, and to fish out the secretest counsels of his mind, and to contradict the counsels of Ahithophel, for that he could not do him so much good by being with him as he might be by being with Absalom. So basically, David's friend got up on the mountain and saw David up there with ashes and stuff on his head, and he said, look, stop, chill out. I got you. He said, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to because this man served David. He said, I'm going to go back to the kingdom and tell your son that I'm going to serve him. And I'm going to do exactly what I did for you, for him. That's a real friend. He said, I'm going to go get all the information I need to get. You be cool. Don't stress out. I got you. We good. Don't worry about it. A true friend will lay down their life for you. And I'm not saying because you keep doing dumb stuff, but I'm saying a true friend, they'll die with you. This sounds like the King Arthur story of Merlin. You hear me? You understand it, girl? I'm thinking about Game of Thrones. CERCA, did you forget you have a Josephus with bigger font? It's on your bookshelf. Yep. I did. Thank you. I did. I sure did. I forgot. I did. So the next time we read Hey Pumpkin, I'll be getting it out of there. Thank you. You see? You see? I don't even be remembering what's in here sometimes. It's y'all fault. Y'all did it. I didn't do that. You did. You and you and you and you and you. You. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever had a friend like this one that put themselves in harm's way, or at least wanted to mediate between you and whatever your situation was? And really mediate, not mediate to get the information, but mediate to try to make your sorrow go away. No. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes. No. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. Your husband. Okay. No. Yes. Okay. I just want to see. Because this is the thing. You said Rika, Joy, and One Love. Come on now. Come on. Come on. This is the thing. Ooh, that's itchy. Very. I didn't mess these up. I'm going to take them off when I get out of here because they are itchy. You hear me? Basically, two things. If you notice, his friend, when he heard what happened, he was already thinking of a solution. She said, oh, sis, Rika. Okay? Do you see that? The moment that he saw his friend in distress, he already was thinking about a solution. Also, he put himself in harm's way. She said hugs to you too. You hear me? Now, I'm not telling you to go be no crash out. But if your friends are not trying to help you get to solutions, and they only want to keep, he could have sat up there with David and they could have talked and he could have amped it up. And yeah, you know he used to, and I wouldn't have trusted him, David, if I was you. He didn't. He said, hey, I got you, bro. Don't even worry about it. I'm on it. We about to figure this out. We about to figure it out. This is the kind of friend you want. This is the kind of person, when you are having an issue, you want somebody that's going to try to look for a real solution, a strategy, an end game, and not no crash house stuff. David couldn't go because 9 times out of 10, he probably didn't want to unalive his son. Right or wrong? You think he wanted to fight against his son to the death? David had homeboys he could have went to send to unalive his boy. So yeah, he thinking his son tripping, but I don't want to kill my son. I don't want to kill my son. Even though I know he want to kill me. Do you understand what kind of position he was in? You love the person that wants to end your life, and you love them so much that you don't try to go find them, you go away from them. Because you know if you put in a situation, you're going to have to do what you got to do. So, not that you between a rock and a hard place. Think about that. You don't want no harm to come to your baby. You've been protecting them their whole life to turn around and find out that they want to end your life and take everything you have. Think about all the battles David had already fought. You think he wanted to fight one in his house? Huh? Think about all the wars David done fought. All of the people that done try to take his life. All of the people he didn't know if he could trust. And now it is in his own family. Something that came out of him. You don't think he was messed up? Boy, you didn't see me have to fight. And now, hey, Pumpkin, and now you too? Not my son. Not my daughter. Not my mama. Not my cousin. Not my husband. Not my wife. Everything that I did was for you. Right. Feed them with a long handled spoon. Right. Then to unalive your children. Exactly. What would you do? You said that hurt my heart, right? What would you do? If you were in this situation and you overheard your child saying on the phone when they thought you wasn't around, I'm going to kill my mama, I'm going to kill my daddy, what would you do? And you planning a whole surprise on what you bought. You just bought him a new car because remember, he went to David and was like, I want my land. He was like, oh, son, take the people with you. Have a good time. Y'all be safe. Whole time, you getting to click together to come back to unalive me. The people I just gave you to protect you and to get you where you need to go, you now are telling them, good, I'm grateful. I'm now your leader. I know that you served under my father well, but now you serve me. I'm going to overthrow my father for the throne. Do you think that all these niggas didn't know that he attacked his sister? All these people know what he did. All of these people helped hide him from his daddy when his daddy was probably going to put the smackdown on him for attacking his sister. So do you think they really trust him? Nigga, not only did you attack your sister, now you trying to steal the kingdom from your daddy and unalive him. That's funny. My sister told my mama she was going to kill her. You talking to me? Baby, because I want to go to jail to get her. Oh, my God, you talking to me? Nope, don't even do it, baby, because God got away. Crazy work. Right. That's like me buying you a pew-pew and then you pew-pew me with it. I got you this to protect you. Crazy. And now you going to try to take my life? Okay. Trying to tell you. Nuts. In real life. But this kind of stuff, like you said, baby, is still happening right now. So they be like, oh, that's the Bible. It's still happening. It's still happening right now. Here we go. Boo, 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 boo. All right. So it says, for that he could not do him so much good by being with him as he might be being with Absalon. So he was prevailed on by David and left him and came to Jerusalem, whither Absalom himself came also a little while afterward. When David was gone a little further, there met him Ziba, the servant of Mephibosheth, whom he had sent to take care of the possessions which had been given him, as the son of Jonathan, the son of Saul, with a couple of asses laden with provisions, and desired him to take as much of them as he and his followers stood in need of. And when the king asked him where he had left Mephibosheth, he said he had left him in Jerusalem, expecting to be chosen king in the present confusions, in remembrance of the benefits Saul had conferred upon him. At this, the king had great indignation and gave to Ziba all that he had formerly bestowed on Mephibosheth, for he had determined that it was much fitter that he should have them than the other, at which Ziba greatly rejoiced. When David was at Bahurim, a place so called, that there came a kinsman of Saul's, whose name was Shimi. Or Shimi. Now, let's stop right there. Shimi, we see it spelled that way with an A too. He was a giant. He was an Anakim. This guy right here. Y'all know that, right? So David is running from his son. And then he runs into this man who has 6 fingers and 6 toes. A big man, a giant. Now, David ain't by himself. He got his 600 men with him and whatnot. But he left his son, running from his son, and ran right into a giant. Ran right into one. You hear me? So you leaving one nigga that want to unalive you, and you just can't catch a break. Come on, queen. Come on. You hear me? No joke. Like, dang. So look. It says, whose name was Shimi or Shimei, and threw stones at him and gave him reproachful words. And as his friends stood about the king and protected him, he persevered still more in his reproaches and called him a bloody man and the author of all sorts of mischief. He bade him also go out of the land as an impure and accursed wretch. And he thanked God for depriving him of his kingdom. This is the giant telling David this. And causing him to be punished for what injuries he had done to his master Saul. And this by means of his own son. Now when they all were provoked against him and angry at him, and particularly Abishai, who had a mind to kill Shimi or Shimei, David restrained his anger. Let us not, said he, bring upon ourselves another fresh misfortune to those we have already. For truly, I have not the least regard nor concern for this dog that raves at me. He said, you see this nigga foaming at the mouth? I ain't worried about him. He said, I'm not worried. Let that nigga, he thought he cussing and running alongside the mountain. Now, mind you, do you think he was throwing pebbles at David now? He's a giant. He real petty, girl. He said, look at him, foaming at the mouth. I'm not worried about that nigga. But while they're riding, he said, move around. Right. But think about it. He's a giant. So what size rocks you think he was picking up hurling at David in? Boulders. Boulders, I'm sure. He's running along the mountain. Where do we keep seeing the giants at? Even in our day right now. Where we keep seeing them at? Most times when we see them, where they at? He said, okay. The mountains. The mountains. He was a man of Gath. So David left Jerusalem and went out and ran straight into a giant that's mad because David was a giant what? I'm tickled over here thinking about the scene. Girl! Oh, don't worry about the nigga. Look at him, look like a dog, barking all loud and stuff. He was a giant slayer. So, of course, the giant is like, nigga, you done got rid of our family members. We do know that David married a giantess, right? Y'all remember? One of David's baby mamas was a giantess. Y'all remember? So some of David's sons, y'all remember we read, he got with a giantess. How he did that, I don't know, but amen. Okay? Some of his kids have giant blood. I don't know. I just assume it's like Shaq getting with a little person. It can happen. Cause he might have, I mean, the dude might have been 12. I mean, I don't know how tall. She might have only been 9, 10 feet tall. But just think about Shaq and a little person. That's how I figured it. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. And you always see like an Amazonian woman and a little short man, and he be yelling that. So I'm thinking that's about what was going on around here. Right. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, y'all done seen the big tall women like they be like 6'8", and then they dude is like 5'2", and they love them. He said, "Look at her big long legs. Look at her." I mean, so I think it's the same thing. You said, "Tickle." Listen, I'm just saying. Yeah. You said my cousin. Listen, my friend y'all met love him. He only 5'3". All his baby mamas is like 6 foot or something. They most of them, no, not all of them, but a couple. They tall. He like big tall girls, and he ain't nothing but 5'2", 5'3". Maybe not even that tall. Love him. You hear me? Keeping one, so or 2 or 3. I just seen it on Facebook today. She was a queen and her king was short. Yeah, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. Opposites attract. He said he don't have a choice. This part, I mean, hey, it's still the same stuff that was going on back then is going on now. Literally. All right, here we go. So it says, it says, I submit myself to God, by whose permission this man treats me in such a wild manner. He said, I already know that God ain't let me get to him because God wants this to happen. Nor is it any wonder that I'm obliged to undergo these abuses from him, while I experience the like from an impious son of my own. He said, not only am I got to deal with this nigga, I got to deal with a kid that's trying to kill me. He like, look, man, I ain't got time. But perhaps God will have some commiseration upon us. If it be his will, we shall overcome them. So he went on his way without troubling himself with Shimi, who ran along the other side of the mountain and threw out his abusive language plentifully. So he's cussing David out. And when David was come to Jordan, he allowed those that were with him to refresh themselves, for they were weary. But when Absalon and Ahithophel, his counselor, were come to Jerusalem with all the people, David's friend Hushai came to them. And when he had worshipped Absalom, he withal wished that his kingdom might last a long time and continue for all ages. But when Absalom said to him, how comes this, that he who was so intimate a friend of my father's and appeared faithful to him in all things is not with him now, but had left him and is come over here to me, or come over to me? Hushai's answer, was very pertinent and prudent, for he said, we ought to follow God in the multitude of the people. While these, therefore, my Lord and Master, are with thee, it is fit that I should follow them, for thou hast received the kingdom of God. So David's friend went to David's son and was like, don't worry about it. He said, the same way that I served your daddy, I'm for the people. I am for the people and whoever is the ruler of this. I will therefore, if thou believest me to be thy friend, show the same fidelity and kindness to thee, which thou knowest I have shown to thy father. Nor is there any reason to be in the least dissatisfied with the present state of affairs. For the kingdom is not transferred into another, but remains still in the same family, by the son's receiving it after his father. So he told him, don't worry about it. We ain't even tripping. The kingdom didn't stay in the family. I'm just worshiping whoever got the kingdom. This speech persuaded Absalom, who before suspected Hushai, and now he called Ahithophel and consulted with him what he ought to do. He persuaded him to go in unto his father's concubines. Excuse the language. It ain't mine. These is not my words. Y'all know the rest. Y'all know the rest of that song. This is what Absalom said he was about to do to his daddy. His homeboy told him, not only do you need to kill your daddy, take his kingdom, he said take his too. chapter 7. His homeboy told him, go in there and bang all the women that you know to be your stepmothers. Do you think that was wise counsel? Your daddy done had every last one of these women. And your homeboy tell you, you know how you can really piss your daddy off? Go in there and sleep with your stepmama. Is this in their bloodline? This in their bloodline though. Where else did this happen? Long, long, long time ago. His great uncle. Jacob. Reuben. So the sexual sin has not left. The trickery in the family, the scheming. Remember who their great-great-granddaddy is, Laban. Remember what Laban was on. Laban switched the daughters, kept switching the business proposals. Right. It's all the way down the line. Then we get to David. He done murdered a nigga for some coochie. Okay. Had some kids. And now his boys is cutting up. Let's not forget Solomon, who lost out with God because of some coochie. So what started with Jacob and Laban has gone down all the way through the family, has it not? Who is Dinah? What happened to Dinah? Didn't one of Jacob's sons get to his sister too? Or niece or cousin? So the sexual sin, the treachery against, come on, auntie. The treachery against the family, it's trickled all the way down. It's made it all the way to David. You said no, it was a tribe. It was someone else from a different tribe. But they was in the same family is what I'm saying. It was one of the sons of Jacob, not one of Jacob's 12 sons, right? Or somebody in that family line is what I mean by that. It's in the lineage. Or it was a completely different tribe. It was one of the tribes of Israel that went against, that got, it was somebody that she knew that got her, wasn't it? It was somebody close to her. Shechem is in the line, y'all. Shechem is he not in one of the 12 tribes? He's descendant of one of the 12 tribes. Who is Shechem the son of? Or great-great-grandson of? And the son of Hamor is the son of who? They're in the family. It's extended family, but they're in the line, the bloodline is what I'm meaning. It could have been an extended cousin. These, because you got to realize it was the 12 tribes that was fighting against each other. Y'all realize that. The tribe of Judah, when they got with these two, they do you see what I'm saying? So even though it's like a 15th, a 10th cousin or a 7th cousin, it's still in the line. It's still, they came out of the same bloodline, which is Jacob, the 12 sons, and they came on down through there. That's what I'm saying. It might not have been a direct relative, but it was in the family, in the tribes, or whatever you want to call it. These tribes all came from the same person. Yeah. So you see what I'm saying? It was still in the bloodline. And it's then trickled, because you got to think, they marrying their cousins and fourth cousins and this and that. This is what they doing. So all the way from Laban and Jacob, down through all of these thousands and thousands. I mean, and these are just the stories that we know of. Right. Reuben slept with Bilhah, which is right. And they had kids and grandkids, and then they separated out. So this is what I'm saying. This has followed all the way down. Now, it was probably some stuff before. I can't remember it all right now. But this is family business. It's like if a grandma had 12 kids and then all her kids left and went to a different state. And so the kids aren't raised together. You said Toes is doing cartwheels. I mean, but this is the thing. And I'm going to make me some coffee real quick. It can't become a generational curse until it happens to more than one generation. Right? This is how cousins that used to go to the South that might have lived from the North end up hooking up with their cousin because they ain't never, and this is the kissing cousins. It's still the bloodline, but because you didn't grow up with them, you don't see them like that. Well, I didn't think we was real cousins. I thought we was just cousins. No, your grandma and her grandma is sisters. But because they didn't grow up and they didn't all spend the night down at grandma's house, it's you thinking because they live a distance from you that they're a distant cousin, but they not. You just didn't grow up with them. That's funny because Q and I had a conversation about this today. I did not know. Interesting. No, they wasn't related, and Levi and his brother killed them after that guy did that to Dinah, but Jacob and Leah and her sister were first cousins. I believe they were family. Because if you look at the tribes of these people, they wasn't fighting against, okay. Amen. I could be wrong. But from what I've researched, and it's been a while, it was clans, distant, but they're still family members fighting against each other. Because that's most of the people that lived in this area was the 12 tribes around there. In the Valley of the Giants, in the mountains. Y'all get that right. All of these lines of people still came out of the same two people. Technically, they're still all family. The only ones that technically weren't complete family were the people that came from the angels, because they had different fathers, but they still had the same mamas. So they mamas were sisters and cousins and the like. They're not from Asia. These people all lived in the Midwest. I mean, in the Midwest. They lived in the Middle East, the people that they were fighting against, and the areas right around them. Yeah. I'll be right back. Sorry, y'all. All right. We back. So, y'all good? Everybody good? Yeah. Did you go get you something to drink? I didn't get no water. Should have did that. Y'all ready? Yeah. Hello. Y'all done left and went and got y'all something to drink too. So let me ask you a question. Really quickly, let's go back. Do you understand with David, right? He was a man of war. His sons were men of war. Battle, right? But his love for his baby wouldn't allow him to take out his wrath on his child, even though his child wanted to unalive him. even though his son had somebody in his ear that was telling him to disrespect his father day in and day out. How many of us have had friends like that when we was teenagers and didn't realize that that friend was jealous of the relationship that you had with your parents, and because they didn't have it? Because Ahithophel, for him, you gotta be a dirty, I almost said, you gotta be a Dan. We gonna call you a Dan. Y'all know. You gotta be a Dan to tell somebody that they should unalive their father, take everything that their father owned, and then turn around and sleep with your father's wives. What happened in Ahithophel's life that he thought that this kind of thinking was okay? You hear me, Sean? What happened in Ahithophel's life for him to think like this? For him to sow this poison into another person's life? No father wants to unalive his own child. Exactly. And no son should want to sleep with nobody that his daddy slept with. Your mind got to be twisted to try to sleep with the people that your parents have slept with. That's not normal. That's not natural. Hey, do you understand? Your body should not even move for a person that your parent has been with. 9 times out of 10, these concubines had brothers and sisters. They was the mamas of his brothers and sisters. They weren't legitimate king's kids, but he know them was his. You are crazy. And you didn't want to just go into one of them. You had all 10 of them. You said hurt people, baby. And I'd have been hurting somebody. This is nuts. All I want to know is, do it be drama in the Bible? Folks be trying to make it like, baby, it ain't nothing but cutthroat society going on up in here. That's all I see is love and hip hop and you want to unalive your daddy, take his house, and have his wives. You're weird. And your friend is the one telling you to do it. That's crazy. You said, look at Lot and his daughters. Oh, I agree. This is what I be saying, though. So when people be saying, it's like it's in the Bible. That's not in the Bible. It is. It actually is. The Bible definitely has a story to tell if you know what you're reading. I'm trying to tell you because I'd be like, oh, wait a minute. Hold up. All right. So he said, and now he called Ahithophel and consulted with him on what he ought to do. And he persuaded him to go in unto his father's concubines. For he said that by this action, the people would believe that thy difference with thy father is irreconcilable. So he said, if you go sleep with your daddy's wives, folks gonna know you ain't trying to clear up nothing with your dad. And will thence fight with great alacrity against thy father, for hitherto they are afraid of taking up enmity against him out of an expectation that you will be reconciled again. So Ahithophel is telling them, go on and smash your daddy's baby mamas. Then everybody in the kingdom gonna know you ain't messing with your daddy, and hurry up and do it, because if you and your daddy get together again, the people that fight with you, they gonna be scared that you and David gonna get back together and they gonna be unalive. So hurry up and do it. Accordingly, Absalom was prevailed on by this advice, and commanded his servants to pitch him a tent upon the top of the royal palace in the sight of the multitude. And he went in and lay with his father's concubines. So this man had an OG at the top of the mountain with his daddy's wives, y'all. So everybody in Jerusalem can see. Huh? What if he got someone pregnant? So now some of the women is your brothers and sisters, and now some of them is your children. By the same woman. She got your brothers and sisters, and now you now have children with her. Do you understand how crazy that sounds? You said and the women was with it. Well, wait, they didn't really have no choice. He probably would have unalived them. I'm sure he took them by force. They probably raised this little nigga. You getting me? They watched him grow up. Wouldn't be surprised if some of them breastfed him. You know, back then they had, you know. But his friend got in his head, and this is the twisted stuff your friend is telling you to do against your father. Not your stepdaddy, not your distant uncle or married, your daddy. You said somebody had a hold of our cousin brothers. Come on. Crazy. Now this came to pass according to the prediction of Nathan, when he prophesied and signified to him that his son would rise up in rebellion against him. And when Absalon had done what he was advised by Ahithophel, he desired his advice in the second place about the war against his father. Now Ahithophel only asked him to let him have 10,000 chosen men, and he promised he would slay his father and bring the soldiers back again in safety. And he said that then the kingdom would be firm to him when David was dead, but not otherwise. Absalom was pleased with this advice and called for Hushai, David's friend, for so he did style him, and informed him of the opinion of Ahithophel. He asked further what was his opinion concerning the matter. Now he was sensible that if Ahithophel's counsel were followed, David would be in danger of being seized on and slain. So he attempted to introduce a contrary opinion, and said, Thou art not unacquainted, O king, with the valor of thy father, and of those that are now with him, that he hath made many wars, and hath always come off with the victory. Though probably he now abides in the camp, for he is very skillful in stratagem. So he's saying, boy, you know your daddy. Your daddy ain't lost not one war. He always come out on top. Is this really what you want to do? I think you should rethink this, nephew. I don't think this is something you might want to do, nephew. I don't think you should do it. You can have wise counsel, and you can have unwise counsel. You can have people that are telling you to do stuff that's about to tear up not only your family, but generations to come. Because had he have listened to every single thing that Ahithophel has said and accomplished it, it could have started fighting between the brothers. Well, now they're unaliving each other's children. Because once that spirit get in there, guess what? It runs rampant, does it not? All it takes is a little bit. It ain't like families don't talk. You heard what happened, didn't you? You know, Absalon trying to kill his daddy and this and that. And then, you know, he went in there and slept with his wives. So then the cousin's like, oh, shoot, that's what we can do. Because I've been peeping my daddy with chick for a minute. Do you understand how sin can start to travel and spread? This is the king and his son. So what y'all think the peasants is doing? The people in the kingdom. If the royal family doing it, sure, we can do it too. This is why God say you gotta cut it off right when it starts. Cause if not, it's gonna spread everywhere. You let this one thing slide and it's gonna get bigger and bigger. Do you agree? How many of y'all told God y'all wasn't gonna do something, and then the next time you did it even bigger and better than you did it the last time? Got more wild and more crazy. Anybody? First time you was scared. Second time you wouldn't. Third time you didn't even think about it. And you guilty. Me too, pumpkin. Okay. 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 Here we go. It says, in foreseeing his. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay. In foreseeing the deceitful tricks of his enemies, yet he will leave his own soldiers in the evening and will either hide himself in some valley or will place an ambush at some rock. So David's friend Hushai is telling his son, you know your daddy and you know your daddy no strategy. Boy, you better be cool. He said, so that when our army joins battle with him, his soldiers will retire for a little while, but will come upon us again, as encouraged by the kings being near them. And in the meantime, your father will show himself suddenly in the time of the battle, and will infuse courage into his own people when they are in danger, but bring consternation to thine. Consider therefore my advice, and reason upon it, and if thou canst not but acknowledge it to be the best, reject the opinion of Ahithophel. Send to the entire country of the Hebrews, and order them to come and fight with thy father. And do thou thyself take the army, and be thine own general in this war, and do not trust its management to another. Y'all know where else we seeing this right now? Where else are we seeing this type of behavior right now? Tell me. You're not charged? I charged it already. In the White House. Do y'all realize that Elon is like Ahithophel? Y'all realize that? Sometimes this thing come on and sometimes it don't. Mm-hmm. Elon is pulling the shots, but it look like Trump is. And he is telling him to undo everything that the White House and that people before him and the kings before him have done. Before, ICE couldn't go in churches and schools. That was considered sacred in meeting places. Now they can go into those places. He's literally undoing what the forefathers had already set down. And none of it is good. All of it is underhanded and dishonest. Why did Solomon? Why did David's concubines have to suffer for the war? They didn't have nothing to do with it. You know what's happening in Sudan and places like that right now? Women are being raped because of the war that they don't have anything to do with. Women's rights are being stripped away. Their right. Do you realize he went in there and told the woman, your body, my choice? I know you've been with my daddy, but I'm about to bust you down. Think about how them women felt when this boy was crawling on top of them. And they maybe he looked like his daddy. Maybe they was the person that that this boy mama was leaned up against when she was pushing him out. Maybe they changed his diapers. So could you imagine the mindset of David's concubines? Boy, you like a son to me. If you don't move, what are you doing? Get off of me. What is you doing? I'm not moved. What is you doing? You said definitely probably help feed him, right? Imagine your stepson trying to come. You'll be like, boy, what is wrong with you? Trying to kiss you in your mouth. And I done raised you. What is wrong with you? Are you drunk? Are you high? What's wrong? Like, what is wrong with you? I am your... What are you doing? You can't be in your right mind right now. You can't. Right. You see what I'm saying? This nigga done lost his mind all the way. All right. Here we go. It says, then expect to conquer him with ease when thou overtakest him openly with his few partisans, but hast thyself many 10,000s who will be desirous to demonstrate to thee their diligence and alacrity. And if thy father shall shut himself up in some city and bear a siege, we will overthrow that city with machines of war and by undermining it. When Hushai had said this, he obtained his point against Ahithophel, for his opinion was preferred by Absalon before the others. However, it was no other than God who had made the counsel of Hushai appear best in the mind of Absalom. So God changed Absalom's mind for him to hear Hushai and not Ahithophel. So Hushai made haste to the high priests Zadok and Abiathar and told them the opinion of Ahithophel and his own, and that the resolution was taken to follow this latter advice. He therefore bade them to send to David and tell him of it, and to inform him of the counsels that had been taken, and to desire him further to pass quickly over Jordan, lest his son should change his mind and make haste to pursue him, and so prevent him and seize upon him before he be in safety. Now the high priest had their sons concealed in a proper place on the outside, or on the out of the city, that they might carry news to David of what was transacted. Okay, let's stop right there real quick. Did David have all his men in one place? Did he? Huh? He had a spy in the enemy's camp. He had niggas on the outside of the city. And then he had niggas with him. I don't understand why people that say they're in the army of the Lord don't study war strategy. Because the people that God used had to use war strategy. David couldn't talk to everybody when he was leaving. He had to talk, it said he talked to his intimate friends. So he didn't tell everybody where he was going. There was no parade to see him off because he didn't know who he could trust. He didn't know if they was going to be on his son's side or his side. It is okay to ask God, whose side is they on? Is they with me or is they with my enemies? Just because you're a Christian don't mean you got to be silly. And just because you're a Christian don't mean you got to tell everybody what you're doing and where you're going. It's not safe. It ain't safe. It ain't safe. You hear me? David had to move strategically, did he not? He had to move strategically. He couldn't be talking about all what he was about to do and where he was going and where he was about to be. He had to move strategically or it could have cost him his life because he didn't know who in his kingdom had sided with his son. Just because they your family don't mean they got to know all your business. Just because you've been friends with her for a long time, that don't mean she got to know everything you do. He been your homeboy, but he also wants your life. Or he jealous of the relationship you got with the people you love. So you got to be careful. Moving on. We almost done, y'all. Here we go. Sorry, y'all. All right. It says, accordingly, they sent a maid servant whom they could trust. Here we go. Accordingly, they sent a maid servant whom they could trust to them to carry the news of Absalom's counsels and ordered them to signify the same to David with all speed. This don't remind y'all of Game of Thrones? The girl with the knife in the kitchen. Or even the maid, the girl that worked in the brothel. And somebody's son, I think, or somebody was getting ready to try to take the kingdom, and they sent her out in the dark to go talk to somebody else. This is all of that. Literally. This is exactly like Game of Thrones. I'm trying, listen. I be trying to tell y'all, it's right here in our face. All right, so they got them a maid servant whom they can trust to them to carry the news of Absalom's counsels and ordered them to signify the same to David with all speed. So they made no expense nor delay, but taking along with them their father's injunctions, because pious and faithful ministers, and judging that quickness and suddenness was the best mark of a faithful servant. You ain't got all time for you to be slow poking. They made haste to meet with David, but certain horsemen saw them when they were 2 furlongs from the city, and informed Absalom of them, who immediately sent some to take them. But when the sons of the high priest perceived this, they went out of the road and betook themselves to a certain village. That village was called Bahurim. There they desired a certain woman to hide them. There go the homegirls again, and afford them security. Accordingly, she let the young men down by a rope into a well, and laid fleeces of wool over them. And when those that pursued them came to her, and she asked her whether she saw them, she did not deny that she had seen them, for that they had stayed with her some time. But she said, then they went their ways, and she foretold that, however, if they would follow them directly, they would catch them. But when, after a long pursuit, they could not catch them, they came back again. And when the woman saw those men were returned, and that there was no longer any fear of the young men's being caught by them, she drew them up by the rope and bade them go on their journey. Hold up. So the woman had sense enough to hide them in a well. It was another woman that got word to the people that they needed to go and tell them what was up. She said, yeah, I seen them, but they're not here no more. If you hurry up, you will catch them. Remember I said you might have to say something and you going to have to tell the truth, but you're not going to have to give all the information. I can tell you a lot without telling you nothing at all. She didn't lie because they knew that they went through there. They knew it. If she would have said no, they probably would have started kicking her door in. I seen them, but they not here though. Huh? Yeah, you hurry up. They ain't too long left. Y'all didn't catch them? I don't know what happened to them. Man, that's crazy. All right, well, if they come back through here, y'all come by tomorrow. I'll let y'all know if they didn't be here or not. Whole time they in the well listening to everything. Y'all realize this is some strategy we might have to use pretty soon? Y'all realize that? Oh shoot, my mama did that for her grandma with the IRS. No, I don't know where she is. I'm trying to tell you. This might be something we have to do soon. Or it might be some people that have to do this for us soon. Because we are going to be hunted. And not saying yes, exactly. And not saying everything you know just because you know it. Did y'all see how that keep on playing out in this Bible? Just because you know don't mean you got to say. Sometimes you just need to know. Y'all done heard me say that a gazillion times. Now do you see why that's important? If you got to repeat everything that you know and everything that you done heard, you can't be around me. Because you are being told the enemy everything I'm doing and don't even know that that person is my enemy. But you just like to run your mouth too much. No. Just because I seen it, that don't mean I got to tell you. I saw him. It wasn't my business to tell. Exactly what she said. I seen them, but it ain't my business to tell you where they are right now. I tell you I seen them here, but I don't know. All right. It said, accordingly, she let the young men down. And, oh, we read that. All right. She drew them up by the rope and bade them go on their journey. Accordingly, they used great diligence in the prosecution of that journey, and came to David and informed him accurately of all the counsels of Absalom. So he commanded those that were with him to pass over Jordan while it was night. Everybody don't need to see what you're doing. And not to delay at all on that account. But Ahithophel, on rejection of his advice, got upon his ass and rode away to his own country, Gilead. And calling his family together, he told them distinctly what advice he had given Absalom, And since he had not been persuaded by it, he said he would evidently perish, and that in this in no long time, and that David would overcome him and return to his kingdom again. So he said it was better that he should take his own life away with freedom and magnanimity, than expose himself to be punished by David, in opposition to whom he had acted entirely for Absalom. When he had discoursed thus to them, he went into he went into the inmost room of his house and hanged himself. And thus was the death of Ahithophel, who was self-condemned. And when his relations had taken him down from the altar, they took care of his funeral. Now as for David, he passed over Jordan, and as we have said already, and came to Mahanaim, a very fine and very strong city, and all the chief men of the country received him with great pleasure, both out of the shame they had that he should be forced to flee away from Jerusalem, and out of the respect they bare him while he was in his former prosperity. These were the Barzillai, the Gileadites, and Siphar, the ruler among the Ammonites, and Machir, the principal man of Gilead, and these furnished him with plentiful provisions for himself and his followers, insomuch that they wanted no beds, nor blankets for them, no loaves of bread, nor wine. Nay, they brought them a great many cattle for slaughter, and afforded them what furniture they wanted for their refreshment when they were weary, and for food, with plenty of other necessaries. So, basically, again, the hole you dig for somebody else, you gonna fall in it. You see what happened? He tried to turn David's son against him. And when it didn't work, he did the same thing that Lucifer used to do. He fled and hung himself because he wasn't man enough to see David face to face. The enemy always gets you riled up to do some mess you ain't supposed to do and then cut out. Because you know who else he left hanging? Absalon. You got to remember, Absalon had already went into his daddy's wives, concubines. He had already crowned himself king. He had already turned his daddy's people against him, okay? And put out the word that he planned to kill his dad. And then Ahithophel, the chicken that he was, ran and unalived himself and left Absalom to deal with his daddy. Dirty. A whole Dan. So you done stirred up all this chaos in the family and then cut out and killed yourself because you was a coward and you didn't want to deal with, you was talking big and bad behind Absalom, grime baby, and let that nigga to deal with his daddy. You didn't encourage him to do all this mess, and then you cut out and unalive yourself. You don't think that's crazy? It's always the person the devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy, even the ones he uses to do it. I'm trying to tell you. Y'all don't think that's crazy? Think about it, though. That's how it works. It's always the person egging you on to pull up and go do this and that, that if something happens, baby, they cuts out and leaves you. You be laying there shot and they didn't cut out. Don't expect you to live. And so they go do some old weird stuff like, ain't nothing changed. People is still moving slimy and grimy. It's crazy. But you got to think, David was not only fighting an outside enemy. He was fighting the enemy that he produced, that he cared for, that he fed and reared and clothed and protected. So he fighting with Shishai, whatever his name, Sheshi, on the outside of the kingdom, and on the inside, he fighting against his own son. And now he done lost most of his female dogs. He done lost most of his hoes and everything. Because he can't touch them no more because his son did. What if he really loved them all? Now he got to put away his wives because they done been touched by his son. So maybe the kids that David had by these concubines don't get to see their mama and daddy kiss no more. They don't get to see their mama and daddy show affection anymore because everybody knows that they brother done had their mama. Think about what kind of mess that stirred up. Maybe she don't get to live they don't get to live their comfortable life no more, and they have to leave the palace. These layers of crazy are next level. Do you get me? It's so much in there that could have transpired, or maybe did, and they just didn't put it in the story. Because David coming back, and now he can't. And the person that got all this mess stirred up then took his own life. Cut out. This is why you can't let nobody talk you into no craziness. Because as soon as they do, they cutting out, they gonna run and hide. And this is why CERCA don't do nothing with a group. If I'm gonna do it, I'm standing 10 toes down by myself. Do you hear me? God might send me a few folks that be around, but for the most part, folks be so envious of your life. They don't care about tearing it up. But think about this. I used to tell people, and I told my kids, if they don't care about your life, ain't no way they can care about theirs. Ahithophel had some hidden issues in him. Maybe his father did him dirty. I don't really know. But for you to want to go and destroy somebody's whole family, because he wasn't just destroying David, he was going to destroy generations because David had other kids. So if those other sons are fighting now against not Ahithophel, but Absalon, now you got generations of children fighting against each other. Nah, you killed daddy, bro. And I guarantee you, I'm on your head, boy, whenever I see you. Nah, I can't believe you let him kill grandpa like that. Daddy, y'all ain't gonna do it. I mean, do you understand? The daughters was probably arguing. No, you need to talk to your brother, because do you know what he went up in there and did? He went up in there and slept with daddy's wives. You need to go do something. Y'all need to go talk. I mean, do you see the kingdom was split? And seeing as how he had more than one wife, they children. And that it happens still. Right. Right. And just think about this. What if David is thinking back all the way to Bathsheba and how his sins are causing all of this trouble in his lineage? Because he betrayed a friend, and then his sons betrayed him. He betrayed one of his soldiers, and then the sons that he made into soldiers betrayed him. He took somebody else's wife, and somebody took his. It hurt a lot worse when you know you did it to somebody else and somebody else is doing it to your child. Or your child is doing to you what you know you did to somebody else. His son wanted the stepmamas to be without a husband. Well, he wanted the same thing for Uriah. No? Y'all see it? This is why you have to be careful. You get them how you lose them. It's just a never-ending cycle. And this is why God say, when you see sin, you got to cut it off immediately, because it's going to grow, and you're going to plant a seed, and it's going to grow up in the generations. Yeah, it's so juicy reading the Bible. What, Fluffy? I'm trying to tell you, baby, because listen. I said, wait a minute. No, he did go in there. Wait. Not you done strapped up on your daddy's house. Wait a minute. Oh, boy took one wife. This nigga took 10. David took Uriah's one wife. His son took 10 of his. Ten times what he did to somebody else. 9 times, whatever you want to call it. It's like a husband cheat on his wife, and he don't know that she that type of girl. And then when he find out she cheated, he thought she only cheated with one person, and she cheated with 10. And he had the one for a long time, but she had 10. I mean, it's not funny because you shouldn't do it, but it's this. Could you imagine his hurt? He thought he was getting over with the one. She said, boy, by the time you picked up one dime, I had a whole dollar. Quit playing. I had 9 for every one you picked up. I mean, that's about what happened. It ain't funny, but it is. David, you thought you was getting over by stealing one wife, and your son came and grabbed 10 of yours. She got him back 10 times over. This what I'm saying. And David got back. David got back what he put out 10 times over, literally. want to point out another point to y'all too, y'all. Point out a point. Point out another thing. Do y'all see how the spirit of perversion was running through that family as well? Because once he allowed lust and perversion to take over him when he wanted to be with his sister, and he wanted to be with her so bad that it made him sick. His sister came from his daddy. That was the same flesh. They literally came from the same loins. Well, that wasn't good enough. Okay? Not only do I want to be in the body of a woman that has my same bloodline, but now that ain't good enough. Now I want to run in behind my daddy. That spirit of lust and perversion clouded this boy's mind. You are not supposed to have your family members. You are not supposed to be sleeping with your stepmama and your sisters. This is not supposed to be happening. No matter what you feel for your daddy, this should not be happening. But that spirit of perversion and lust got on him so sick, nobody was off limits. Wasn't good enough that you almost tore the whole family up, raping your sister. Now you gonna rape your stepmamas. It make you think about the serial rapist. They escalate. And it gets more and more crazy until they get to murder. Where murder, lust, and perversion was running all through Absalon. Was it not? Envy. Covetousness. He wanted what his daddy had. So all them spirits was working in between him. That nigga was full of demons. And they just kept adding on another one and another one and another one, and deceit. This is why when you see it, you got to cut it off at the head. You can't let sin linger. Because he wasn't just he had murder in his heart. He was covetous because he wanted what his daddy had, his daddy's wives. He wanted his sister. I mean, this dude was full of evil. And it probably started when he was a kid. All the spirits from the homeboy too, they transfer. Come on. Come on. This is why the Bible talks about who you around, your counsel, who you listening to. Do they have sound counsel? Because the friend, Hashai, he gave wise counsel. He said, boy, you know your daddy is a beast, and with that sword, you don't want to play with him. Now you know. Your daddy love you, but you know. And you done rose up against the king. He was punishable by death automatic. Because now I can't trust you, because I can't even sleep here and let you back in my kingdom, even though I love you, because I don't know when you're going to be trying to take my life. I can only imagine the stress that David was under. I'm still dealing with your sister and what you did to her. And now this. And I got this giant out here with his homeboys trying to run up on me too. Just stress from every side. But you know what David did? He went in and he asked God, I need you to help me so I can make the right decisions. Yes, it looks like I'm outnumbered, and my enemies, my son, my life, my wives, my everything crazy. I might even lose my kingdom, but God, I just need you to help me. But God, come on. Yep. So I was reading after that. I said, we reading this. Because it makes you think about life and how it just snowballs. One sin leads to an even bigger sin, leads to an even bigger sin, leads to an even bigger sin. It wasn't enough that he attacked his sister. Now he's going to attack his daddy and his daddy's wives and his daddy's lineage and his livelihood. Nothing was off limits. And that's how it is with sin. It's gonna ravish everything it come in contact to. It's gonna destroy everything it come in contact. You welcome, pumpkin. You're welcome. Thank you. I mean, because if you think about it, it's happening in life right now. There's people that's unhappy with their life. They don't care about tearing your life up, and they'll go on with their business. They're going about their business. Tear your marriage up, get you fired from your job, baby, and go on and be trying to ruin somebody else's life. Because think about it. Ahithophel caused his family problems too. His mama, I'm sure he had kids. His grandma, right? So you done caused all this family drama and wanted murder to happen in this family, but your family had to feel the same thing that you wanted David's family to feel. Your sons have to feel exactly, and daughters have to feel exactly what you wanted David's daughters and sons to feel. Whatever lineage you had, it died, or whatever it died with you. You wanted the same thing to happen for David, but it happened for you. At your own hands. So the very hole that he thought that he was digging for David, he fell in it. Because think about it. He wanted David's own blood to kill him. Flesh of his flesh. And then he killed himself. You died at your own hands. That's crazy. This is why you can't set up no plots for nobody, be trying to trick nobody, be trying to get over on nobody. Ask God to help you to do the right things, even when situations seem steep and crazy and you outnumbered. Plus, everybody, they probably treated the family away because of him. Come on. Come on. Come on. There's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of craziness. There's probably a lot of crazy situations that came up because of this family feud right here. And a lot of people were hurt. All because somebody else wanted what somebody else had. And this why I don't do. You cannot tell me you jealous. Not one time, or I'm going to get the hell away from you. The first time I feel jealousy, envy, any of that, baby, I'm moving around. Because I can see it in your face. I know how it looks. I see it. Jealousy radiates so crazy. It's envy. Baby, them are some of the strongest spirits you can feel. You can feel it burrowing. No. And that's why I be by myself. Because I don't got no time for nobody to be crazy. You thinking about how to ruin my life, and I'm thinking about how to make yours better. David had just gave this boy some land. He had just blessed his son, and his son whole time was trying to take his life. Like, nah. You want my life so bad that you will use my friends to go against me. I told you I experienced this with my family and my friends. All the people that I used to hang out with, they go find the people they know I don't talk to no more, start hanging out with them. And my own family has gone against me with the people that are doing me bad. Instead of protecting me, yeah, this same thing. I've experienced it multiple times in my family where my family will side with the person that's trying to hurt me or unalive me or whatever else it is. And I'm like, that's crazy. Whole time I done tried to keep you. What? They don't have to say nothing. Energy and discernment always be on point. Baby, you can feel it strong too. You said same. I'm trying to tell you. So yeah, I feel all of this when I read it because I didn't live it. Y'all want to hear something crazy? Y'all want to hear something real crazy? So that picture that I posted on Fanbase, I sent it to my mama. Right? So I have another social media, and I saw my niece on there, and she was like, "Oh, auntie, I seen this picture Sunday." I said, "How you see this picture? My daddy had it. How your daddy get it?" And he won't even answer the phone for me. So y'all will show my pictures around, but won't answer the phone when I call. Okay. This just happened today. I called and she showed it to you and your daddy, but she still ain't called me? Crazy. So all the way out in AZ, because none of them is friends with me on my other social media. I got rid of all of them. It's her and one other person. Okay, y'all real crazy. Do you see how, listen, you didn't see the picture that I didn't send to you. I just posted it, and now you said, oh, I seen this the other day. How? I only sent it to one person in the family. That's your grandma. And I know y'all don't be, I said, ooh, crazy, because your daddy and your grandma will not answer the phone if I call them. Nuts. Nuts. Just crazy. I said, okay. Well, y'all keep being weird. I don't know. I don't. And then she put on the same color. Let me show y'all. My mama is crazy. I ain't even gonna lie. Like crazy. So I had them colors on Friday, and she wore them Sunday to church. And then went to my brother's house and showed him the pic. She is clean. She always clean. But it's weird, lady. I wore it Friday, and she wore it Sunday. Called her, and she didn't answer. Oh, definitely monitoring spirits. Y'all don't think that's crazy? Literally. I'm saying, well, I guess. She always put it on, but you weird. Because I sent you this. This is Friday. This Friday. and then you go, and then. I said, well, okay. She stay clean, y'all. My mama she stay dressing. That's her favorite thing to do. She shops every day. Every day. Her whole house is a closet. She stay sharp, y'all. My mama's not going nowhere looking crazy. She gonna be clean every day. Yeah, I don't think so. No. You can't be proud of me and you won't answer my phone calls. Thank you. But you hear me. How you proud of me but you don't answer when I call? I've been calling you for a week. No. It's weird. I don't care what y'all say. That's weird. That's like you sending me a picture of you. I don't answer, but I'm showing your picture to people. That's weird. Y'all don't think that's weird? It's like when a jealous person can't look at you in your face because they want everything you have. And I'm not saying that's her, but these the vibes in real life. A person is jealous of the way that you look, and so they don't even want to see you. Hey, and then we're the same colors, right? And it happens more than y'all know, and that's why I just feel like I be over here by myself. Cause, honey, before I ever left my family, I knew what women were like, and this is why I think I just be over here in my own life. Cause I can't do it. I don't want to be, or I just want to be myself. That's it. That's all. Well, anyway, I love y'all. I'm about to go. I will talk to y'all later. Yeah, I ain't in competition with not a soul. I don't care how pretty you are, how thick you are, how smart you are, how long your hair is. I don't care. I want you to be happy with you so I can always be happy with me when I come around. Love you too. You hear me? But I'm not gonna deal with people that I gotta tone myself down because you feel away. Well, get your life together. You don't like yourself, so you don't want me to like me. Well, that it took me a long time to get here. That's not gonna happen. Get your life together. I don't know what to tell you. This is crazy to me. Real crazy. And I deal with it not just from my family, with other people too. And I just be like, just stay in my house with my books. So there's that. Anyway, I love y'all. I'll see y'all in the morning. It's crazy. And that's why I just be by myself. Because people are weird. Love y'all.